Hayden from SA Boxing Talk, not familiar with any of you, never seen any of you before. Let me go in a row, because I want to ask each of you a question, if I may. I know we've already had our statements, but let's go left to right, my left to your right. DJ Kriel, IBF, former IBF champion, you're coming back, you've had a keep busy fight, you're having another keep busy fight. Where to from here? You know, you get a win here, are you looking at getting on the World Championship trail again?
Mr. Hayden Jones, my good friend from SA Boxing Talk. So yeah, obviously Colin got me busy last year, December. I would have liked to fight earlier. But that's why I'm so thankful to Larry and Colin and Riaz putting this event together. We need more fights, you know. Obviously I haven't been active for the last few years, and that's my goal, is to just get active again. I'm not looking at getting into, obviously Colin said, you know, we're gonna have a fight now, get back into the ratings. But it's about growing now, and I want to get active again. I'm not looking, and I don't believe in no keep busy fights. Guys at my level and who they're going to put me up against, we all here to fight. It's not like, hey, a journeyman come in here, let me go win. No. I believe everyone there is put because they also believe they can win, and obviously they want to beat me. I'm a name they want to beat. That is how it is. So my goal is to grow this year with Colin. He's got plans for me. I trust in my manager / trainer. And so we're growing this year, and like he said, within the next year or so, we'll be back in those ratings, fighting for world titles. That's my goal, you know. My goal is to become a multi-division world champion. I've got big goals, you know. My biggest thing is become a multi-division world champion and just make money, make a lot of money, and feed my family, and just get the best out of boxing there is. Okay. Awesome, guys. Thanks.
Right, and then my next question, Simon Gila Smash Shadebe, obviously sitting next to champions like yourself, world champions all around. It's your goal also to do that as well, and you're looking like you're coming closer and closer. We spoke about this last time. We spoke about Argentinian fighters, Mexican fighters, all those top-rated fighters where you need to go fight outside. Are you now prepared to take that step?
I'm definitely ready. This first fight is actually a test. Even although everyone thinks I'm ready for the world level, this is the first test for me, and it's an important fight. So I'm trying always to prepare and also be the top boxer, the top fighter that everyone thinks I am, and I believe I am.
Awesome. Head of the Shredder, now entering the welterweight division for the first time, and obviously you are undefeated as a junior welterweight, super lightweight, have you? This new division, you obviously were highly ranked, number 2 in the IBF in your previous division. Was it a tough decision to go up, or was it just an impossible situation for you?
It wasn't a tough decision at all. I had to listen to my body. Just physically couldn't make the weight anymore without, you know, taking so much away from my performance and my strength. So I think I'm going to be very optimal and very comfortable at this weight.
Our next question, the next fighter, the WBO Global Champion, Siko. Nice to see you again. Obviously you made a step-up performance in your last fight, beating Denmark Kubido 12-0, so that was a remarkable performance. You're having another fight now in the ring. You rated in the WBO ratings. What are you expecting of yourself in this fight?
Okay, what I'm expecting for the fight is to win. So my players, by the end of this year, the champion for the WBO should be calling me Open AD next year. That's my plan.
Okay. Just 2 more questions, ladies and gentlemen. For the main event of the evening, Heki, the Executioner Butler. I don't know if I can get all the belts in the shot, but I'll try my best. Let me just zoom out a little bit there. Hex, I mean, obviously you're waiting for the big fight against Kinshura. There's no secret about that. It's a keep busy fight. This is actually a keep busy fight. But look, is there a huge risk in taking a fight before taking the big fight?
That wouldn't be boxing if it wasn't a risk, would it? Like DJ said, any fight in that step in the ring can land that one shot and I'm down and I'm out, I'm gone. It can happen to anybody at any time. So it's a fight I have to win. At least I can watch the other guy fight before me. He's also got a replacement, so it's good. Just happy to fight. And it's a great bull, so why not?
100%. And then last question for the Apex. Prospect of the night, the undefeated Caden Truter, who said it's going to be a knockout of an evening. I don't know if that's a suggestion for the opponent. But Caden, I mean, this is another way to keep your undefeated record. You're going to get in the ring. You've got to put on a show for the fans. You're going to be the opening bout, no doubts, with all the names on the record, on the bill. What's your expectation of tonight?
Well, the night is just to enjoy. It's boxing. You're supposed to enjoy it. So I'm obviously there to put on my best performance. I'm training as hard as I can. I've got the best people I can train with. So obviously, it's going to be a great show and a great fight. So I'm going to put the best on I can and we'll see how it goes from there.
That's all my questions.
Any other questions?
Just, I just want to find out, Smash is obviously, the upward trajectory continues. What's the plan for her? Because she fights her opponent now. Colin, maybe you can just explain what's the plan for Smash.
So it's a good question. I actually discussed it with Larry, and I actually was planning on getting Colin's ear after this press conference. So after this fight, I need to sit down with Colleen and discuss the way forward. But I'm quite convinced that we can get a title shot. We can get it moving in the IBF ratings. In fact, after this fight, I have no question in my mind that I can get into the top 10. That division's pretty active at the moment. You've seen Golden Boy, etc. I think the unified champion is Marlene. She's the unified champion there, WBA, WBC. So, and also like if we move into a position, I'm almost convinced with Colleen's permission, we could get a world title shot by the end of the year, or maybe early next year.
Hi guys, question to Larry, Colin, or Rios. Great first foot forward in the space, boxing 5, really putting on a card like this. What's the plan going forward? We've seen many of this ilk start, have great year, disappear. So this is all fantastic, it's wonderful window dressing if there's no plan for the rest of the year. Yes, we've seen some development fights, we've had more talk of development fights, but if this is the benchmark, are we expecting more events like this more often? Because right now, I suppose many people would agree, boxing needs more of this.
That's a great question.
I think that as Colin has just said, and I also believe it's a good question, because you have seen people with these big dreams and hopes, and they start off and then they fade. The big thing about making this a success is to ensure when you get sponsors on board, you look after them, that they want to be part of your promotions. And what we did is we didn't just say, well, let's put on a tournament. We sat down and we formed a strategy. Unfortunately, I've been in business for many, many years, and I've been around and I've developed business companies. And unfortunately, promoters are one-man show that they don't have all the aspects of a business. Yet, it is business if you look at it. It's a business. And the nice thing about it is we set a strategy out. And the strategy started, and believe it or not, with 9mm Laduma. When he left Golden Gloves, there I was with, I'm his manager now, where do we go from here? And he's a world title holder. You've got to put money in it, set it up, start getting to know who you talk to, how you talk to. And that was when I decided I don't profess to be a person that knows about boxing. I know that when they're in the ring fighting, I've come from a boxing family, but how do I get Laduma to do the right fights to get into a world title? And that's why Colin and I were talking. We set that up. And then when we had this venue, now we got our own venue, Boxing 5. And then we sat down and said, now where to? We did a few tournaments, now let's get a plan. We sat down, we planned it. We said, right, we gave a strategy. Our strategy is to put on development tournaments. Like we say, it's great, which we did. Now, after the one in December, we sat down in January and said, what's our plan? Our plan is to have 4 development tournaments. We wanted to go one a month. Then we said, but hold on, What about the other fighters? So then we decided we're now going to do a development tournament, followed by international tournament, followed by a development tournament, followed by international tournament, followed by a development tournament. In fact, 4 development tournaments and 4 international tournaments. So the one thing is, you've got to understand, we'll never be able to put all these fighters on at the same time again, because Hek is not available, the Doom is not available, but we'll use them to grow these people. You talk about where they're going to go. So those are the international fighters that we'll use on our tournaments to get them into the world rankings with Colin's expertise. So that is the plan. And then in between that, we just to let you know, the 6th of May is this tournament. The 27th of May, we're in London with Laduma. On the 4th of July, another development tournament. So we're not here one horse glory. We're here to improve boxing, and that's the plan. And we can only do it with the help of sponsors, because you can understand what the bill is for these fighters on the night. But talking about sponsors that come to the fore, this is what we're promising. And we've proved it with the development fighters to sponsors, what we can deliver. So if you keep delivering that, there's no reason why we must say, oh no, how do we, we're never going to do it again. The other thing I must tell you is, the people sitting here as Boxing 5, promoters have to make money to do other tournaments, and everybody likes to make money. But our strategy is, if we can wash our face, whatever we do, we're not there. We don't put bread on the table without a boxing, our boxing fight, which is different for other promoters. It's a company, they need to earn money. So we've all got businesses and all like-minded people. We're prepared to sacrifice that to enable the boxers. But there will come a time when obviously the money that we make, we put back into boxing. And that's our plan. And we can only do it with the help of sponsors. And just on that, just to give you an idea, Smash mentioned her sponsor RGM. So what we did is we did something different. I asked Colleen, can I approach them? And I phoned them to say, you're sponsoring Smash. What about sponsoring her fight on the night? Not the whole bill, just contribute to the tournament. They said, well, we're new into boxing, we don't know about it. And they asked me questions like, we'd like to be involved when she fights for the world title. So I said, well, this is the start. So you've got to get in at the start, because then it's a lot cheaper. And they've agreed. So that's the mindset that we have with sponsors. We don't want to sort of scare them away by saying we want 2 million rand or 1 million rand. We bring them in and show them what they're getting, value for money, and they'll never run away. I promise you. That's the plan.
Just a follow-up question again. So we've seen in South African boxing, you have this array of gatekeepers that have sort of almost stopped certain fighters taking place, certain fights taking place. With no doubt management being part and parcel of this, can we expect that to become another gatekeeper for Boxing 5? Or is the idea here is to let as many people in as possible, unlike what we've seen still taking place in this country?
So let me answer that, because we've discussed that. And we've had fighters asking us, please, trainers and coaches asking us, please sign our boxers. Boxing 5 doesn't sign boxers to their promotion. We will use the fighters, and if somebody offers them another fight, they must take that fight. That's the difference. Because in that way, we can't stop. What happened to Sladuma? He got offered a fight. Okay, it was a big fight. But even the smaller guys, if they get offered a fight, we can never put on, if you only allow 8 fights on a development tournament, keep all those guys busy. They need to fight elsewhere. They need to have four fights a year minimum. And that's what our philosophy is. So that will hopefully answer the question and show you what the mindset is of boxing. Any other questions, people? Great. So I think we can take a 5-minute break. We'll get Laduma to come up here, and these guys can go and sit there, and they can clear their belts away. He can put his belts out there, and then we'll give him a chance to talk about that fight. Thank you so much for being patient. We really appreciate it.